We're live again with Daniel Wax, CRO at Self Disrupt. We talked last time about Daniel's background. Today, I want to talk a bit more about some LinkedIn hacks, LinkedIn outreach tactics that Daniel has in his bag. Lately, I've been quite bullish on AI features on LinkedIn, which we might want to talk about today, and the events function on LinkedIn that can be a nice tool for lead gen. It's like a webinar, but on LinkedIn, sort of. So, Dan, can you reintroduce yourself and tell us about some of these LinkedIn hacks you've been working on?
Of course. So my name is Daniel Wax. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for Self Disrupt. Been in sales for almost 10 years now. Have a couple of exits under my belt that you can look at our other podcast to learn about. And nowadays, after spending 5 years teaching people how to make money through LinkedIn, teaching them how to sell through LinkedIn and combine it with the phone and with email, with everything else that you're doing, we've released Self Disrupt's platform. It's the all-in-one LinkedIn automation tool that doesn't only do LinkedIn messaging, it does connections, it does following, it likes people's posts, it endorses their skills. It emails people as well and gives you their phone number, email, Twitter, and other information. So that's me in a nutshell, but I'm ready to dive into some strategies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So the biggest thing with LinkedIn that if someone's not familiar with LinkedIn watching this, the number one thing to note is it's the business social media. Started out as the social networking platform where you could put up your resume and hope to get a job from it. Nowadays, companies don't ask for your resume, a lot of the modern ones. They ask for your LinkedIn profile. And so the way that it's kind of merged is before COVID, there were 200 million people on there. Facebook groups were still well and alive as the best means of creating community. Facebook Messenger was still seen as the best way of DMing on social media until Instagram Messenger came up. And in COVID, LinkedIn skyrocketed from 200 million people to today, there's 934 million. It's going to cross 1 billion by the end of the year. So if you really think about it, it's the place that business people are. The average user makes $76,000 a year. Compare that to Facebook, they make $8,000. Compared to Instagram, they make $12,000. Compared to TikTok, they make $3,000 a user. It's the place where people have money, and it's the place senior level decision makers are. So it's just a bit of a background on LinkedIn. For anyone who's not using it, go make an account. If you have an account and you don't use it, start using it.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be bullish on LinkedIn. As like a 22-year-old, that was 8-ish years ago, I was like, yeah, LinkedIn is for my dad, and there wasn't much happening in there. And yeah, I think, like you said, COVID strongly contributed to the growth of the platform. Highest revenue/salary per user makes it highly interesting. Let's call it that way. It's high quality people that hang out there. I was also looking at a guy's video the other day saying that he does product market fit test on Facebook ads. And yeah, Facebook ads, I mean, it's still who hangs out in Facebook ads, The last time I checked Facebook ads was for the group's content and the knowledge, but it's mostly bullcrap on there, while LinkedIn's professional, which comes like as a double-edged sword, right? Because people are sort of fake here. But it's like good content, generally speaking. And I hang out there as a CEO, make good cash. So yeah, that's like the litmus test to it. Now that we're quite bullish on LinkedIn, what kind of hacks can we do? I mean, I've been doing outreach for millennials now. I'll always try to customize this outreach, make the offer appealing. That I'm doing a lot of that for my podcast, for example, which is a good offer that most won't refuse. I've been A/B testing with AI nowadays, trying to personalize my message. For example, giving people 3 ideas of cold email campaigns that they could deploy for their specific niche. Let's say that it's an SEO agency, then GPT will suggest to target CMO at fintechs, CEO at manufacturing, and consultants in the AI field in US, in Canada, and in Australia. So that's a cool message. It's personalized for that person. What can we do nowadays with AI and outreach, and what kinds of campaigns are working well for you?
Yeah. So when it comes to campaigns working well on LinkedIn and to reaching out to your target audience, there's a couple of things that go into it. I would say it's threefold. The first thing to note is your LinkedIn profile, of course. It's your landing page. The same way that your website is where all of your marketing drives to, any outreach that you do on LinkedIn is going to drive to your profile. So you do this very well in your profile, Charles, already. But one of the major things that you can think about is your LinkedIn headline. This is what's right beneath your name. Anytime that you connect with someone, anytime you go to message someone, anytime you comment on something, everyone sees the first 70 characters of your headline. Don't have this be owner at so-and-so law firm, just another law firm to everyone. How do you differentiate yourself and grab attention? For example, I think, Charles, there's something about the pod, correct?
Right.
Yeah, on my end, because we run a software that automates your LinkedIn outreach to the right audiences, which we'll dive into, my LinkedIn headline starts with, I introduce extraordinary people to extraordinary people. It's not exactly what I do. It's the end goal that everyone wants. So if you're a lawyer who helps people with criminal cases, you're not owner at so-and-so law firm. You're, you help people who have made bad decisions throughout their entire life stop making bad decisions and regain control of it.
Get them out of the shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about that end value. So the first thing is LinkedIn profile, and you can start with headline. If anyone wants to learn more about how to position your LinkedIn profile, Self-Disrupt, our company, does have a profile optimization checklist that is 16 slides on a PDF just for you to go through, that goes through every section of your profile with examples on how to do it. So you can visit selfdisrupt.com for that. Shameless plug.
I want to comment on the lawyer though. Like I just had an insight I feel the need to share, because the fundamentals never change. It's really the offer. It's all about the offer and how you pitch yourself. For lawyers, something that I don't see often is selling peace of mind, selling the lack of stress, going through a process. We might win, we might lose, and I might give you some probabilities, as a lawyer, I might estimate that. But if I would be a lawyer, my main added value would be, look, we're going to go through this together. You're going to have peace of mind. You're not going to be stressed. I'm not going to be an added stress to you. I'm going to make everything peaceful, calm. And whether we win or not, everything is going to be cool, and your stress levels are not going to go up. How many lawyers do you see that sell themselves like that? I don't see a lot.
Not many. And you only see the few that do, because they do very well.
There you go. So yeah, the offer, but even before we get to that offer, I guess the question is, how do you get usually to these offers? And the answer, well, in my own humble opinion, is to constantly A/B test. And even then, I'm sure that the concept that I suggested is good, but the market is going to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And I use cold email and LinkedIn outreach for that. So I'd like A/B test a bunch of these offers and see the response.
Yeah, it's the right way to do it.
On your side, do you think AI can potentially help with that, like tailor an offer specific to a segment's need? Let's say that I'm a lawyer and I'm targeting accounting firms that are getting sued by, I don't know, the government. Should I A/B test like 3 different offers to that firm, and should the AI write a specific offer specific to that firm? Is that doable?
So that's the one place where like AI isn't completely there yet, where you can feed things to ChatGPT to help you out with it. You're still going to need to edit it after, regardless of if you do, as of where we are right now. No one knows your brand better than you at the end of the day. So like an example of this is, instead of offers, it's more like positioning. So if you're a lawyer who's thinking about reaching out to these accounting firms that are having X, Y, and Z happen, your headline should call out that it's accounting firms only. It's your niche. Your headline should call out the pain that they're having and what they're facing. As long as you have that, when you're reaching out to people, then it dives into, how do you target the right people? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I was thinking on the wild side here, because I don't want to niche out necessarily, because I'm creating an empire of businesses. And then I was like, oh, what if I create like these sub LinkedIn profile, these Charles avatar? Because I had an ethical problem with that back in the days. It was like, I don't want to create fake profiles, but as we're entering the age of AI, there will be some Charles avatars one specialized in lawyers, one in accountants. I guess we could talk about that future, but let's talk about the present though. With the LinkedIn events, I'm A/B testing something with a buddy of mine that introduced me to these events, which are sort of like webinars. You can invite people to them if you're really connected on LinkedIn. Should be somewhat easy. My plan is also to add like top speaker. For example, my coach, Justin Michael, he's like a legend in the SDR world. You probably know him. Maybe I could add him to the event as a speaker, and I could ask him to invite people, or I could take part of I could take the invitation part. So what is the hacks on the event side of things, and why do you suggest?
Yeah, I actually love that you brought up Justin Michael too. He's actually one of our biggest advocates and affiliate partners. So he's everything that we teach is actually comes from a lot of Justin Michael's teachings and just how to put it into our software.
He's great. If you like money, like you'll like Justin.
Oh yeah. So for example, whenever you find a LinkedIn event that people are attending, I'll use an example of an event, how to start your own podcast, as an example. And there's this event. There's two things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is you can reach out to every single person who's attending the event. The second thing you can do that's way better is if you click attend any person's event on LinkedIn, you get to see the entire attendee list and all their LinkedIn profiles. And you can actually search through it using LinkedIn filters and searching in the top search bar and find your ideal audience that is attending that specific event.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can actually share my screen and show how it works if that's all right.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Or I can share mine because I have an event going on, and I didn't even started to invite folks yet.
Here, so I'll go to any event. Let's go to podcast.
Yeah.
And let's go to events.
Should you live stream your podcast? That's interesting. Should you live stream your podcast? 44 attendees, yeah, but
who wants
that's also a good one. How much attendees on that one?
So this one is 440 something.
That's good.
So as an example, if I click attend right here, what's going to happen is I can click the attendee list.
Yeah.
And I can now see the attendee list. So for example, Charles, the people who you want on your podcast are the CEOs, the owners, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to CEO or founder or chief executive officer or owner or managing partner.
All right.
And that brings us down to 249 out of those.
Right.
And now we get all of the people who fit that exact demographic. Now, normally you could remember to follow up with everyone and set tasks for yourself. There are softwares out there, there's Apollo, there is Outreach that you can set up LinkedIn tasks inside of your campaigns that, go in and view this person's profile page. Maybe go in and send them a message. Now you still need to go in and do that. And it would be the same copy, paste and cut message. So what we'll go over is we'll go over kind of how to automate that if you want to, Charles.
Yep.
We'll go over how to automate that using self-disrupt. And then we'll also go over what's the best way to do it. Okay. So how do we get in contact with these people? So we're going to copy this URL. All that you ever need to do to reach any people in a list on LinkedIn using self-disrupt is copy the URL. Once you copy it, we're just going to jump into the platform here. So can you see this here?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just going to go back to the main page and let it load up. There we are. So there's a button that's create new campaign, and there's two options, simple or smart. We're just going to go over simple for the pod to keep it eagle eye view. But for the smart campaign, this is for the marketer who wants to say, did someone connect with me on LinkedIn? Yes, message them on LinkedIn. No, email them. It allows you to set up pathways. We're going to go to simple. So when we come into it, I'm going to name this campaign podcast guest. And on the right-hand side where it says new search, you would put in the search URL from LinkedIn. If we did not sort the attendees, you would just put it under the event link and use the link from the event itself. So we'd add that search. Once that search is in there, you'd create your campaign at the bottom. Now, we're going to go over a couple best practices. It has LinkedIn automation, it has email automation, it has integrations. So best practice here is before you ever reach out to someone, you kind of want them to know who you are a little bit. Because if someone's warm versus being cold, it's always going to be better, right? So I'm going to click perform action. With this, you can automatically view someone's profile, like 3 of their posts, endorse 5 of their skills, or follow them. So I'm going to view their profile and follow them. The next day, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to view their profile and like 3 of their posts. Now they've gotten 6 notifications with my face, name, and headline. Hopefully they've viewed my profile. Right after that, I'm now going to send them a connection request. Now, the reason why I talked about creating a headline that grabs your audience's attention is you don't need to put a message. The people who put a message are the ones who come off salesy and spammy most of the time, unless it's something super tailored to that one person. And then you get into the pitfalls of, how much is your time worth for each person you do outreach to? So let's not include a message and let's have it be soft. They've seen us, we're supporting them, we're liking their posts, and our headline might talk to them. So that's going to be best practice for getting new connections in place. You kind of want to come top of mind. You want them to see you a little bit, that you're supporting them, and get that accepted based on your profile. Once that is, you get into messaging. Well, the first thing, whenever you message someone that you want to think about is on LinkedIn specifically, you probably hear it all the time, Charles, is no one likes being pitch slapped on there because it's a social networking platform. So something we believe in very much is if you just write a message saying, acknowledging that they said yes to you. The thing in sales, if someone says yes 7 times, there's a 93% chance that they say yes an 8th time. So they clicked accept instead of ignore. They said yes, let's reinforce it. Thanks for joining the network, or thanks for connecting in any way. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the feed. Forward to seeing you in the feed. And if you make content, let them know. I'm always posting about tips to do X better.
Okay. Do you include any custom tags there?
So you could include their name, you could include their occupation, their company. It's really personal preference. We see that in the data itself, that there isn't a difference if you include someone's name or not in the amount of response that you get.
Yeah, I've also seen that.
Yeah, there used to be a difference, but there isn't anymore. And the best thing that you can do, Charles, is you can send emails, yes, but one of the best things that you can do is come back and look at someone's profile a bit more. The next day, view it again. The next day after that, maybe view their profile and endorse some skills. And then the next day after that, once they've seen us looking at their profile every day, supporting them, they're starting to see us. We're now going to send a message. Now, this message could be, I keep finding myself coming back to your page every day. You are the exact type of person who could who I like having conversations with, who I can partner with. I'm not sure if it's for you, but make your offer. So like, for example, I'm not sure if it's for you, but I'm inviting people onto my podcast to do X, Y, and Z. We'd love to have you as a guest. If you are open to it, or if you're open-minded to it, just fill out this form or let me know a time that works best.
All right. Cool. So that all stems from the event. If you just click attend, you get the list and so forth. Why not take that list from non-events and do it the formal search bar way?
Yeah. So you can do it the same exact way. So the same campaign that we just built, I'm going to change all these features and say, for example, I'm someone who my target audience is, give me a target audience, Charles.
CMOs at agencies making 15 million a year and up.
To make it so they're making 15 mil, we need to use Sales Navigator. So instead of using Sales Nav, what about we do agency?
Employees, 200 employees in US.
Still need Sales Navigator for that, but what we can do is we can actually identify, because if a company has 200 employees or more, there's typically people's titles wouldn't exist unless the company's larger. So
Could
for
do that.
example, what about within an agency that we want the person whose sole job is that they're the media buyer?
Sure.
Or better yet, what about, yeah, we'll do that. That's just one thing that LinkedIn has. If you use Sales Navigator, you can sort by company headcount, you could sort by annual revenue, and you could put a Sales Navigator list inside of Self-Disrupt. You can do the same exact thing. But just for the purposes of this, would it be better to show LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. We have 1 minute left for the pod as well. So maybe like one last demo.
So let's go United States. Let's say the industry is marketing services or advertising services. I want the title to be media buyer. Oop. We want the title to be media buyer. We want them to be an agency. And we want them to do Google advertisements. This is now going to give us 266 results of people who are the media buyer for an agency that focuses on Google advertisements in the United States. You would be able to just copy and paste this same exact link directly in to Self-Disrupt right here. Awesome.
How do you do with LinkedIn connection limits nowadays? Is it limited to 50?
So the limit is actually based on two factors: your social selling index score, and how active you are and how much people are accepting it. So you can do up to, if you're a really good LinkedIn user, you could do about 50 a day. I keep mine to around 15 to 25 a day, typically.
Just one last question for you. Buzz.ai, you guys are affiliated with Buzz. You use their white label platform, right?
Yep, they are a partner of ours.
Pretty cool. I talked with them many times. Their software is quite cool. The feature that they're deploying, might have them on the pod, but yeah, very instructional. The LinkedIn event thing. I'm actually gonna deploy a couple of campaigns today. The podcast side of thing, lead gen. I just need to avoid like people that are offering the same services as me. So I guess I could exclude some titles, right? Like for example, the agency keyword or podcast agency keyword targeting these people.
Yeah, just use the word not and exclude them.
Alrighty. Where can people find out more about you, Dan?
Yeah, people can find out more about me. For Self-Disrupt, it's selfdisrupt.com with no U. So that's selfdisrpt.com. To find out more about me, you can find me on Instagram at Wolf of SaaS, SaaS, or on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/.